right, who got the next question? Oh, you do? All right.
When do you see us coming out of this malaise depression, and when do you see and what do you think will bring us out of it?
Well, we're still, I mean, we're not even near the bottom yet. So, first we got to have to hit rock bottom. It's like, there's an expression, maybe some of the people here know about, rehab and alcohol abuse, drug abuse, but generally you got to hit rock bottom before you can, actually kick the habit. So we're not there yet. I mean, we're not at rock bottom. We're going to get there, though. I mean, we're going to have a real overdose on cheap money and government spending, and so I think the real economic collapse is coming. And I think once it gets really, really bad, we get a collapse in the dollar, collapse in the bond market, massive inflation, even more unemployment than we have now. That might be a catalyst to actually do the right thing and actually, go back to a sound monetary policy and shrink the size of government. If we do that, we can recover. But right now, we're still headed down. And unfortunately, the government's not going to do anything to prevent this because the government never tries to prevent a crisis. Because why should they do that? They might as well try to postpone it so they can get reelected, and that's what they're going to do. And eventually, when things are so bad that they figure either way they're not going to get reelected, then maybe they'll do the right thing. But it's still not a sure thing. Yeah.
So how would you solve this mess if you were in charge today?
How would I what?
How would you solve this mess if you were in charge today?
Well, I mean, you can't just solve it. I mean,
Right.
first of all, I mean, we've been very profligate. We've borrowed a lot of money. We've lived beyond our means. We've decimated our manufacturing base. There's a price to be paid. So there is no quick fix. It's like, somebody is 300 pounds and, they want to get healthy. I mean, they got to diet. They got to exercise. So it's not fun. So, we got a lot of work to do. We're in a gigantic hole. But right now, I know we're making the problems worse. So that's no good. Right? We got to deal with the problems. We got to admit what they are. And, yeah, I mean, if I had the power to fix everything, I would. And, ultimately, the free market works, pretty well. I mean, look at countries like Japan or Germany. I mean, we kicked the crap out of them in the Second World War. I mean, they came back, right? So capitalism, you can come back. It's very dynamic. If we have freedom, if the government gets out of the way, people are going to create businesses. They're gonna employ people. I mean, so we could come back, but first we have to go back to capitalism because if we follow the system we have now, I mean, socialism doesn't work. It's never worked. It didn't work in the Soviet Union. It's not working in Cuba. I mean, it's not going to work here. I mean, maybe Obama thinks it'll work here. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else, but he's no smarter than anybody. So it's not going to work here. Yeah.
It seems like there's a line between inflation, which seems inevitable. It seems like basically inflationary default is the only way that we're going to be able to deal with our debt. But that kind of inflation makes mortgage payments and home ownership actually cheaper in the long run because the cost of your mortgage payments goes down. But we also have a housing bubble where the price of properties are also going down. Do you feel like personally you have a sense of where that line is, where real estate's a good idea again because of inflation versus?
Well, I know this is Southern California, so everybody's worrying about real estate, but no, real estate's going down. I mean, if there's enough inflation, it won't go down, but I mean, it's going to go down in real terms. But in terms of gold or in terms of even food or oil, I mean, real estate's going a lot lower. I mean, the country is broke. People in California are broke. They can't afford housing. Houses are overpriced. Inflation is not going to be a panacea for the housing market. I mean, inflation is a way to wipe out debt, but it also wipes out assets, and it impoverishes a nation. And so it's not some kind of get-out-of-jail-free card that we just create a bunch of inflation, wipe out all the mortgages, and then we just go forward.
It seems like that's what they're banking.
Well, they're wrong.
So you think even with gold going up, 200% in the last several years, it's still not going to outpace?
No, I mean, gold's not going up. Everything else is going down. That's what gold is telling you. Gold is just a barometer. It's measuring the value of currencies, and currencies are losing value. But more important, they're going to lose a lot more value in the future based on how much we're going to create. I mean, that is the problem. We are going to try to keep reflating this bubble. We're going to keep printing money. It's not going to work. It's not going to revive the economy. It's not going to create jobs. But they're going to keep doing it. And the only reason they're going to stop is they realize that the whole thing is about to implode. There's going to have to be a crisis, and then maybe we'll do the right thing. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just keep printing until the dollar is confetti. I don't know, but that would be the worst thing. Yeah.
What do you think is the safest place for our assets right now?
Well, I mean, nothing's really safe, but it's all depending on the risk. But I think the riskiest place is to be in U.S. dollars or the things that people perceive as safe: treasuries, muni bonds, corporate bonds. So you want to own, you can own gold, you can own silver, you can have stocks in foreign countries as long as you pick the right countries, the right types of companies. Foreign, you can have bonds as long as they're in the right currencies. But you got to get out of dollars. I mean, the dollar, people perceive the dollar as being safe, but perception can change because it doesn't jive with reality. And one of these days, people are going to wake up. I mean, it's happening now. I mean, look what's happening today in Italy. I mean, the Italian bond market is collapsing. Everybody is worried about Italian debt. Nobody was worried about it 6 months ago. Nobody was worried about Greek debt. And now all of a sudden, it's a huge problem. Right now, nobody's worried about our debt. Pretty soon, they're going to be petrified about our debt. Everything changes. I mean, for a while, people could buy houses without any jobs, without any credit, without any income. I mean, no problem. Anybody would lend. And then all of a sudden, nobody would lend to anybody. The mortgage market imploded. So, perception can change very, very quickly. And it's going to happen with the U.S. And we're going to have a day right. Yeah.